I want to start just by putting this apology slightly into context. Liberty's view is, of course, that there is a role for extradition. In order for fighting crime to be effective, there have to be measures by which somebody who's in another jurisdiction can be brought to face court in the country where they committed offences. However, there are views, and I think it should, I would hope, be beyond argument, is that extradition processes must be fair, and they must reflect the fact that sending somebody to another country to face criminal proceedings in a criminal jurisdiction that isn't familiar to them, and where in particular they will face imprisonment in a foreign prison away from their family, friends and support networks, is a very serious measure. There are two, in the light of those sort of principles, there are two major problems with the current extradition arrangements put in place by the Extradition Act 2003. The first of these, and I appreciate this may not be particularly relevant to Gary's case, but it's the fact that in the case of certain countries, EU countries plus certain other countries, including the United States, there is no longer any requirement, as there was under the former law, for a country seeking extradition to provide proof in support of their allegation that somebody's committed an offence. So this country's courts now have to send people to face prosecution in foreign jurisdictions, to face imprisonment in foreign countries, without being satisfied, need to be satisfied there is any evidence actually to justify doing so. The second problem with the current extradition arrangements, and this does impact on Gary's case, is there is no requirement on the courts of this country or the authorities of this country, it could be an obligation of the Home Secretary, to consider whether somebody could actually be prosecuted for the allegation against them in this country, and whether it would indeed be appropriate for that to be done. That was something that was left out of the Extradition Act 2003. Parliament has passed a measure that would remedy that defect. It's set out in Schedule 13 of the Police and Justice Act 2006, but has not as yet brought that measure into force. And Liberty calls on our parliamentarians to take steps to do that, to remedy what is a fairly glaring defect, and which would obviously have had an impact on Gary's case. One of the few protections in the Extradition Act 2003 for somebody facing an application for extradition is the requirement that the courts consider whether it is compatible with their rights under the Human Rights Act. Sadly, the Divisional Court, in the first major case to go before it concerning the new extradition arrangements, the case of NatWest 3, set the standard that would have to be met when somebody is seeking to argue that extradition to a foreign country would interfere with their rights, their family life, their private life, their relationship to people in this country. It said that it was very obvious that extradition is always going to involve that, and it would only be in exceptional cases that refusing somebody's extradition on the basis that it would interfere with their rights under Article 8 of the European Convention would be justified. Our view is, and this is the reason why we're supporting Gary's campaign, is that this is an exceptional case. There are compelling reasons why Gary should not be extradited to the United States. Firstly, the fact that he faces a completely disproportionate sentence for what he was alleged to have done. Secondly, there is the fact that fairly outrageous pressure was put on him by the US authorities at an early stage to agree to his extradition. That outrageous pressure has been considered by the courts, and I think it's regrettable that the House of Lords decided in the case last year that the pressure put on him was not so extreme that they would bar his extradition on that basis. But thirdly, and as we're hearing in particular today, there is the fact that Gary has now been diagnosed as suffering from Asperger's syndrome, and the effects that you've heard that his extradition may have on him because of that. And for all these reasons, Liberty is supporting his campaign, supports the cause. He should not be extradited, and we too hope that the courts or the Home Secretary will reconsider in the light of his recent diagnosis.